a while ago, I helped train a new nurse at my hospital. She turned out to be one of the sharpest, most compassionate nurses I've ever worked alongside. She's also a twin. She is a little person, but more than any of that, she is a great nurse. I asked her to sit down with me today and share her story in her own words, because I think you are going to love her as much as I do. Let's meet Olivia, who is going to be with us today. Thank you, Olivia, for being here today.
Hi.
And it's wonderful to have you in our podcast today. And I'm so honored to have you today.
Hello.
So we're going to be talking about a lot of things. So your experience and how you start nursing school and everything.
Yeah.
And so that way we can basically, hopefully somebody can be use this as a way for them to, if anybody's trying to go to nursing school. But I think this session we're gonna have is gonna be awesome.
100%.
So thank you for being here. Now, tell us about who you are today.
Well, my name is Olivia. I work at a local hospital in the Treasure Coast. I started my nursing journey career a year ago, last month in June. Finished my new grad year. And I think going into nursing school was a little intimidating, but that was in 23 I started. Right out of high school, went into it. I always knew, I think I wanted to be in the nursing field of some sort, which being an RN event, yeah.
When did you know that you wanted to be a nurse?
I think I always knew from a young age. I knew when I had a couple surgeries growing up, and I was in the hospital for a little bit. So I think then I knew, seeing the nurses a lot, wanting to be that person for somebody else, and wanting to care for somebody, be their advocate, and I don't know. I think when I was there, I'm like, I want to be that person. I want to help somebody and be in their shoes.
That's awesome.
And I also like the stethoscopes and everything else, and the uniform and work. I was that weird kid that I liked going to the hospital.
Like the cap?
Yes. No, maybe not the cap, but like everything else. I don't know. I liked everything about it. I'm like, I want to be that person. I mean, I know you see the doctors somewhat, but you see the nurses, and they're the person to talk to you and to make you feel seen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to be that person for somebody else.
That is deep, because I mean, you receiving care, and you have a team that was the nurses, the doctors, and you're like, you know what? You have so much. They inspired you,
yes,
to become a nurse. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, what was nursing school like for you?
It was challenging. I mean, I knew going into it wasn't going to be like a walk in the park or like just go right into it, but I think I enjoyed it, actually. I think meeting all my cohort, the professors, learning, it was challenging, but I think that was something that I strived to do. I wanted to have that challenge. I think nursing school was rewarding, that it gave me this career, and but it brought me into the hospital world. I think also, I don't know. I enjoyed nursing school. I think it was challenging in its right.
Correct.
It needed to be.
I mean, nursing school is, oh my gosh, you have the sleepless night, you have to study, you have the clinicals you have to go to, and if you have a full-time job,
yes,
you have, it's a lot. So for anyone who basically, any nursing students who actually in school right now and watching this, or somebody who is basically have the idea in your head, you know what, I want to be a nurse. So any advice for them?
I would say I think mindset is half of it. I think if you want to do it, that right there is half the battle. I think you wanting to be it will make it worth it going into it. So I think that right there, I think you should go for it. I think the mindset, then the work ethic. I think if I want to do this, it would be worth it in the end for that hard work. And like, it's only a few years.
So I remember nursing school. It's like you can have anywhere like between 10 to 15 chapters to study.
Correct.
And you have to ready, and you have the clinicals.
Yes.
And you have, if you have a job.
And then everything on top of that.
On top of that. So how do you, somebody listening right now, I mean, I will share, I can share some, but how do you study 15 chapters? How do you study when you have clinicals and test tomorrow?
Yeah, I think prioritizing your time. I think also what's the most important thing that you need to do, because if some nights they would give you 15 chapters like 2 days notice before the test.
Yes.
So I think prioritizing your time, like, hey, I have to do these 2 chapters. I wouldn't read too much into it completely. I would look at it as a whole. I also found that doing practice questions was something that was beneficial for me, like how the questions were worded, how like the structure of it was half of it to when you did take the test, like, hey, I think I saw this before.
Yeah.
Like the repetition of it over and over and over again, I think that was helpful for me.
That's awesome. Now, you are a twin.
I am. I am a twin.
Tell us about that.
There's never a dull moment with that. I mean, we do pretty much everything together. We are both nurses. She actually works at the same hospital that I do, just different specialties. But I think it's great in a lot. We always have someone there, like to talk about things. I mean, we are both nurses, so we can both vent in like she understands what I'm going through, and I understand what she's going through.
That's right. Is there are there moments where people confuse you guys?
Okay, so that happens on the daily basis. I did work nights, so not all of the people that worked at the hospital knew that I was there, so I was already gone. She works days, so now all of the physicians, all the nurses, every like other staff, they're like realizing, wait, like that's not her. Like they'll refer to her name is Mia. They'll refer to be like, hey Mia. I'm like, no, hi, my name's Olivia. I've been here for a little bit, but you probably didn't see me. I work nights. I'm like, yeah, no, we're twins. And they're like, they had to stop and like think about it. They're like, wait, what? They're like,
I remember you telling stories as when people goes to different unit and see their sister, and they were like, yeah. And a lot of our people on our unit, they're like, hey, Olivia, what are you doing here during the day? And she's like, no, hi, my name's Mia. Like the first time they met, and some people still haven't met her yet, but they'll realize, Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting.
Yes, a very interesting situation.
It's crazy.
Both the same career, both the same hospital.
Yeah. Now, tell us about being a little person, and in your own words, what do you want people to understand?
Yeah, I mean, there's challenges with it, but like then I'm the same. I like to say I'm the same as everyone else. So everyone, but just I think the hardest thing, especially going into a career that's very fast paced, is the reach is one thing. Like reach, because not everyone thinks about that. You automatically go into a room and I have to think about 30 different things. Like, how will I get this? IV poles, IV bag. Like, how am I supposed to hang that if I don't have something that will help me? Right. So I think that's just an extra step. But with everything, there's not much I can't do.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because the period when I train you, and one thing that what I saw was someone who's basically very dedicated, someone who took no for an answer. Yeah. Someone who basically, you know what, this is a challenge, but I am more than that. Yeah. And the skills that you possess, it's just wonderful. Yeah. So that is definitely something that somebody have to think about. Yeah. Now, if a young person basically watching this right now, right? And thinks that, they don't fit like a typical mold or whatever, and of what nurses looks like, or like what a nurse looks like, right? Like, what do you say to?
I don't agree with that. I think if there's no one mold to become a nurse. Anyone can become a nurse and help somebody. I think that like if you have the drive for it, that's more than enough. And then on top, and then you'll learn from other people, their experiences, and how, I don't know, it's not just like one mold per se. I think anyone can do it. I think, I don't know, like you're trying to like come for like, I guess, words with it, but
yeah, because somebody might say, you know what, it's like I'm not a nurse. I don't feel the need to be a nurse because like, my height is not. I'm already disqualified, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
I think that challenge is what also made me want to do it. And a big reason that I did go into nursing was my father. That was a firefighter, and he's also a little person. So I saw him like as someone that I looked up to, which not everyone has.
Yeah.
And he didn't have anyone, and he's like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm not going to have anyone say I can't. Yeah. Like anything, whether it be any sort of disability or something that might be a challenge in the nursing career, it shouldn't be something that would hold somebody back.
I think this is so important and true because when I'm working with you, and I see that I'm like, when I ask you like, Olivia, do you need help? No, you got it. And I'm like, can I help you with something? You always got it. It's just, and when I trained you, I'm like, you know what? I see that the potential. I see the wealth of knowledge. I see the compassion. I see the love of helping someone.
And I think if someone always and not that I mind the help, and that's not it, but like if someone's always there to help you, you're never going to figure it out on your own. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to do it sometime. So I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to figure it out. Like everyone has their own way of doing it. I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. Obviously, if it's safe, but like I'm going to do it myself.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, have you ever had a patient look at you and doubt you at first and then completely change their mind? Like, have you had that moment?
I've had it a few times, and I don't know if it's more because of my height, but I also think it's because of my age, because I'm so like a younger nurse. So I think all of those things on top of it could be a mix. But like once throughout the night, because I primarily work nights, they're like, okay, I can see the click. Like, okay, I think she's got it. She's more than capable of doing it. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I've got it. And then they're like, oh, are you back tonight? I'm like, yeah.
So I think at first, and I always tell nurses, like, the minute you walk into that room, the patients, they can read.
100. They
can read you. It's like whether they can, if you're uncertain about things, if you're not so sure.
Walking in with confidence.
So I think confidence is,
and you have to work on it with some people, and I think that's also what nursing has brought, is the confidence. So you putting on your scrubs and stuff, like you walk into the room, you're like, I'm your nurse, hi, like how are you? Like just that little interaction will set the mood for the rest of the shift.
Right? And they can pick up if you're not so sure. So that is wonderful, because once they see somebody comes in and that maybe something, the height, they're not used to it, and they were like, they kind of like wanted to see what's going to happen, how she's going to take care of me. Yeah. And the minute that you open your mouth and say, I am so-and-so, they can feel that confidence, which is a lot. It's so important in this field, because you have to be confident in skills. You have to really, really possess the skill and pick up on things that you can basically like.
And it's okay not to know something too, and asking for help. And that also, I think when the patient sees that, they'll be like, okay, she's taking the time, or he's taking the time to ask, and she wants to provide safe care. And I think that also builds trust.
That's right.
With someone. Yeah.
So I think this is a nursing thing. I think we talk about nursing school, talk about, your career and everything. Anything that people have, like any challenges, and people might face different challenges in life, in their day-to-day life. It's like, how somebody who's like in nursing school right now, or don't even think about nursing school. And I'm gonna have I'm sure people will listen to this, or not in nursing school, or not nurses. Yeah. Anyone who's facing a challenge right now, how can, for you have it, you overcome that, become a very good, sharpest nurse. How somebody watching that who's not a nurse but has a challenge that how can they, overcome that?
I think maybe taking it. I mean, if it's taking it day by day, saying, "Hey, I'm going to do this to overcome it." You probably can't like tackle it like 100% in like a short amount of time. But I think taking it day by day, I think having again the mindset like, "Hey, like I can do this." Like just, I think mental with it is like half the battle. Like I can do this. I'm going to go in, or whatever it may be. Like I'm going to do this, and like just telling yourself that.
So I want to touch on something. So you used to work night shift.
I did.
And then now you on days.
I
so
am.
How are you dealing with that right now?
I love it. I mean, I miss night shift and for other reasons, but I think also days, me flipping back and forth my schedule was, I think, the hardest part. Me coming home and I'm like, hey, like this is my day off. Like I want to be up because it's daytime. Like I want to be up because my family is also they all work days. I'm the only ones on nights. Like I want to hang out with them. And I would wake up with I would wake up at like 2 p.m. and that's 2 a.m. for most people. How do you function on that? So I would feel like a zombie for the rest of the day. And then I would just want to sleep. That's all I would want to do is sleep. And I think it's also hard with being still in school. Like I would wake up early and then I would have to do a test. And like, how do I put my full energy and focus on that when I'm just wanting to go lay in my bed and sleep?
Correct. Because when you work, I think you work most of your days. Sometimes you work 3 and it's like to recover from 3.
3 days. I have an Oura ring. I have a sleep debt of when I worked one week. Yeah. It was 10 hours of sleep debt. So I'm like, how is that healthy? Like, I mean, it's not.
It's not.
So I'm like, I want to do this for myself. And I think like when I want to switch to days, and it's just like wake up early, go to bed early.
And then day shift has its own challenges. Yeah. So what is from transition from nights to days, like such a big difference. Yeah. So how do you see, because your patients were going to test, most of the tests happen during the day. Yes. You have, like so busy. How are you adjusting so far?
I think I'm adjusting good. I mean, I know there will be challenges basically because there's so many more people there. There's so much different movement. Whereas nights, it's typically just the patient or like the few family members that there are there. But you're like dealing with 40 different things than you would be at night. So I think just adapting to that maybe. But like a lot of the stuff is still the same. A lot of the stuff we're like doing the same patient care, just a little bit more on top of that.
So I think, is it like you have to, so when you come to your shift, so you have to rearrange like
yes,
mindset?
I had a schedule of how I did things on night, and now it's completely, I had to abandon that. I'm like, I can't do that anymore.
It's completely.
I know, it was like a seamless like thing that I would come in at night, I would do this, I would be done, and then now it's like, throw that out the window. Like I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, night shift is just a monster, and day shift has its own. Oh my gosh, it's like you have the physician surrounding, you have everything, so you have to really rearrange the mindset. How you now walk me through your typical day from coming one thing that I see, you're so organized.
I try to be.
You come into work. You have a cup of coffee.
Always a cup of coffee.
And you have everything, and you're always early.
I am. I'm like neurotic, I guess, in that. Like I'm always the first one there. I mean, I don't mean for that to happen, but I'm like, I'll also live like 40 minutes away from the hospital that I work at. So like if something were to happen, I'm like, I'll be like, I guess on time or like early, but like, yeah, I show up like 10 minutes early. I'm like, I want to.
Which is great because
I want that nurse. I'm like, I'm here. Like it's just, I'm right here. Like, well, then we'll.
Yeah. I mean, I think when it comes to being early, you got the time to think,
Yeah.
set up your, okay, this is how my night's gonna go. I'm gonna prepare whatever, and so when you come in early and you know what your assignment.
I think it's the what to expect is also why I'm there a little early. What's gonna happen throughout the shift? Like just 10 minutes of getting prepared for it.
Yeah. So it is so important because I guess the mindset shift, how you can, okay, so this is nursing is hard. It doesn't matter where you are, nursing is hard. Whether you work in a hospital, whether you work in nursing home or outpatient, whether you work, I don't know, nursing is hard everywhere.
Yeah.
Different specialty, ICU versus, I don't know, oncology or whatever. It's hard everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think showing up, come to work early, and then set the tone, because it happens to me. I'm sure anybody in nursing who's listening right now would know. Like when you come early and you set up your day, you get your assignment, and you know who, whatever.
Yeah.
You can feel at ease. But when you showing up late,
you're already you're already setting the tone for like, okay, I'm late, I have to do this, and then you're not like, not that you have to be 10, 15 minutes early like I am, but like, just like, yeah.
So it's there's nothing. I've experienced that. Sometimes I would have some, like either some like flat tire on the road or whatever.
Always, you don't know what to expect.
And you don't know what to expect. And then you have a nurse waiting for you to come.
I know.
Yeah. That right there is just nerve-wracking.
Yeah. And then you want to feel like almost like rushed, like I'm like sorry, like, and then I'd already said.
Yeah, it's now. What advice you have for anyone who basically starting as a new nurse, and do you have anything that can help them? Any I don't know, any tips that could serve them?
I would say ask as many questions as you possibly can. No question is a stupid question, because the one question you don't ask could patient safety. You want to ask them when you're when you're dealing with patients' lives, ask those questions 100%. I think being open to criticism and professional feedback, that's something that you need to be open-minded with, and staying humble. That's what one professor that I had in nursing school told me, is to always stay humble and learn from everyone. You don't know who you're going to learn from or learn something from.
That is so
and
true.
I'm like, I want to take all the information in, take all the notes, and
how do you deal with anxiety? Because you can do so from practicum, and you have a first job, and you have to be trained.
Yeah.
And then after you've done all the training, and you have to be on your own.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? That's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot. It was a very big learning curve from nursing school into going into a new grad. You think some nursing students may think, oh, I know everything. And then you get into it and you are like square one. Like you're learning so much because you're not in the hospital 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So I think having an open mind, because you think something's going to go one way and then it completely doesn't, which that could derail your whole shift. Going in with an open mind and being like, hey, like just working with it, saying, I don't know, like I think also time management eased my mind once I got it, because when you have that, you can be prepared for anything. Whereas if you're like behind, guess what? You're rushing the whole entire time, and then that just builds your anxiety.
That is huge, because I've trained, oh my gosh, student in school, in school, whatever, and practicum. One thing that I've noticed, I mean, time management is huge.
Yeah. And that comes with time too.
Yes.
You don't just click it like that.
So one nurse might say they have a routine, right?
Yeah. I think every nurse does. And I knew I do, or I did.
I do, yeah, every nurse has a routine, right? So if a new nurse might say, okay, today I'm going to start this, look at my labs, take my assignment, get my report, whatever. Or showing up early, look at your labs, take report, whatever. You set up your day, your shift.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of thing, like, you have a rapid or you have whatever.
You have to be prepared for that routine to not happen, though. Like, yeah. So then if you're reliant on that routine, then that's going to increase your anxiety too.
That's right. Because when I'm training nurses, new nurses, and I'm like, you know what? You might have a routine.
You have to be prepared for anything.
You have to.
And that's what I think also made me want to be a nurse. Like, because anything could happen.
Yeah. And you have to adapt.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're like,
I find it like a puzzle almost. Like, what could happen? Where am I going to go next if something does happen? So that's how I look at it.
And one thing I told the new nurse is, like, you know what? Look at your assignment, see who's your most critical patients.
Yeah.
And then whatever. Look at the labs to see who you have to see first and who, whatever. And then as they're calling for help, and you can basically, like, flip your whatever. So I think one of the things that I've seen new nurses do is that the time management takes time to learn.
Yeah.
And then they are anxious when it comes to, like, okay, well, I have my set day, my shift starts this way, but again, something happens.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so important that you don't know. You have to basically, like, nursing is I always think you have to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And then trying to basically rearrange things, because somebody might call you for pain meds, and you get an ED patient coming onto the floor.
What do you do?
So what do you do first, right? So prioritization is so
and that can throw a lot of people off, but so I think that also comes with time, because you're not going to get it like that.
Yeah.
So the repetition of it, I tell some new nurses that I see, just doing it over and over and over again, you'll learn how to manage that. And
one thing I told new nurses, I said, there is always that fear.
Yes.
Right? So you knew you were afraid of making any mistakes and whatever. And it's like, how do you keep that fear? And because you will never overcome that, because whether you're 20 years, whatever, well experienced nurse or seasoned nurse, you don't want to lose that fear.
No.
And as a new nurse, it's
always in the back of my mind. Yes. It always will be. But having the confidence and then maintain, like, just going in with an open mind, I think, not fully focusing on it, I think will work.
Yeah. So I think this is great. Now, is there anything else that you want anybody to know about Olivia? And
I mean, there's a lot. I don't know if we could, I don't know.
So before we wrap up, and talk to, again, this is so challenging. It's a challenge to go to nursing school.
Yeah.
Even think about nursing school. I mean, I think you mentioned the mindsets that it's a half of the battle.
Yeah.
Right. And when you were in nursing school, how was that? Do you have, I mean, I know I had a group of guys people that we're still friends until today.
Yes. And I think everyone that goes into nursing school, when you find that little group of friends, you'll be friends for, like, the rest of your career or lives. Like, just even though you're just checking in every few months, like, because you went through such a pivotal part of your, like, life and career, that you guys are almost, like, bonded in a way. You know what I mean? So
for any new nurse who thinks, oh my gosh, is this for me? Mm-hmm. And like you said, it was from nursing school to actually, like, practicing nursing on the floor. For anybody who's, like, have that question in the back of the mind, oh my gosh, I don't know how that's gonna go. And you actually experience, if you're working, I mean, on the floor now, it's like, for somebody who has that doubt, you know what, I don't know if I can do this. Because I've seen people, like, okay, even though by talking to that person, that person has the ability to do it. And that person is so smart. But again, there's that books, whatever. And then when you get to the floor, it's whole different. How do you shift that?
I think not that you have to forget about the books in nursing school, but it's a completely different animal going into the hospital, because they don't necessarily, like, not that they don't prepare you, which they do, but, like, they can't replicate it in nursing school, even though I know they try to, but, like, they can't replicate the 3 patients calling for you at once. They can't, about the time management and the different things that only can happen at the hospital. So I think what worked for me, which I know it's easier, like, just give it time, like, for it to click. Because, again, like, the repetition of you going into work, you setting up, or you getting prepared for it, over time, it'll be like second nature.
That's,
Like, I think it's like your routine, like you have it, I don't know, like giving yourself time and grace for it not to like 100% click. Like, don't be so hard on yourself, because I knew when I was like the first few weeks that I got on the floor, like I'm like, what in the world? What am I doing? I have no idea how am I going to be on my own? I'm with someone. I'm with a preceptor. Like, how am I going to get to the point where I am a nurse by myself? Which that time allows for you to make mistakes, learn from other people, ask the questions, and then go into nursing by yourself. And like, I don't know, being that solid, reliable nurse that I know everyone, I think, wants to.
I think sometimes when I have students, they're like, oh my gosh, I have this question and it's a stupid question.
You need to ask it.
Oh my gosh.
Ask it, because guarantee you it might not be a stupid question. Like, you'll probably learn something from that. And then that could be something down the line. Like, hey, I remember asking that question. I know what the answer to it.
The worst thing somebody can do is to not ask it. Next thing you know, you make a mistake.
Because that makes a mistake. You not asking that question, you just assuming, again, with patients' lives, you go into it, do something, and then it be wrong when you could have asked a question.
Absolutely. And now, what is that long-term goal here for career?
I don't know. I knew it was always, I always wanted to, I mean, I'm working on my BSN right now. So I will graduate with my BSN in a year. So that's I guess my short-term goal, because I'm still in school. But I know down the line I wanted to be a nurse anesthetist, but I'm like, I like to talk to my patients. I like to talk to people. I don't want to not like sedate them and like not have that conversation. Like, that's what I enjoy with patient care. So I think becoming maybe a nurse practitioner down the line, whether it be family, pediatrics, or anything, something nurse practitioner, I think, would be my goal.
That's what I think. A couple years down the line. So your bachelor's now, and then really like So okay, that's awesome. So I believe that this is a very good conversation, and we're gonna have Olivia coming back.
Yes,
I think that this is great, and I think anyone who's in nursing school, whether you have the idea to start nursing school or to want to be a nurse, like Olivia said, or something happens and you went in the hospital, or your loved one had an ailment that you.
And I think that also helps if you have that personal connection, because you can put yourself in either the family shoes, in the patient's shoes. Like, how would you want to be treated?
That's right.
If I'm sitting there, how would you want like your loved one to be taken care of?
I think this is a good way to look at it. If somebody ends up is lying in that bed, and that person,
it's scary.
Because that's how the way you want your family, your loved one to be treated.
Some people might not have ever been in the hospital before, so they don't know what to do. And it might seem like they might ask you a question like, I know it might be like silly. I'm like, no, ask it, because you don't know. Like, so I think
it's when it comes to the patients, if they're not there's a sense of they're vulnerable, right? It's like, I wanted to ask you, like, in my mind, I'm like, what makes a great nurse? Like, so what are the things that some things that somebody can, are there like some criteria, like what makes someone a very good nurse? Sometimes I think about it, right? So what do you think about that? Like, what makes somebody, to me, some people might think like, oh my gosh, you gotta use the big words, but what makes someone like, a very wonderful.
I think having the compassion for that person in the bed, that family member, because whether this is a new diagnosis, a new thing, or they've been dealing it with this for years, having the compassion for that patient is, I think, one of the biggest things. You don't have to be the smartest nurse. You don't have to be the most organized nurse. You have to have the want to be a nurse.
Yes.
Because if you don't want to be a nurse, then there's so many different careers that you could use your skills else. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so having the want to be it and helping people, I think, is something that's big
Yeah, something basic. So
Yeah.
something like, how do you, to me, I'm like, okay, how do you care? Give somebody the best care as possible. Somebody who's in the bed cannot talk,
Yeah.
cannot have if you have to turn them. So that one nurse who basically will take the time to basically like listen, or to a family, to a loved one who basically going through. I mean, our job as our oncology is tough.
Very.
New diagnosis. Somebody basically a family comes to the hospital for one thing. Next thing you know,
They have something
oh my
completely
gosh,
different.
completely different.
Yeah.
Right?
They're healthy all their life, and then
Yes,
something like a diagnosis of new cancer will like just derail absolutely everything. So having the compassion, I think, in those parts and aspects, I think is big.
It is a career that when I became a nurse, and I feel like it's something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the best decision that I've made, because somebody's entrusted you
Yeah.
with their care.
And that's a lot to hold on, like to grasp. And I think I think a lot of new nurses what's the word I'm looking for? Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
They're like, am I really supposed to be? That was something that I think I struggled with at the start, was like, am I supposed to be here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did I really like do all of this, and am I supposed to be here? And I think that takes a minute to click or like go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, am I meant to do this? Am I meant to be here? Like, the realization. Yeah.
I mean, whether it's a nursing or a different career, I think that any career that anybody like choose to be in, you will be tested.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes you have this shift. You don't know what's going on. Everybody's calling at the same time. You have an ER, you have new admissions, and somebody's probably like having I mean, it's like you sometimes you question that, right? So like you said, imposter syndrome, it's true.
Yeah. And then having to go in one room where it's like not happy, but like something completely different, and then walking out of that room, going into a different room, and then having to completely switch it because they got like the worst news of their life. And you can't take whatever you just were with into that room.
Oh my gosh.
So I think that's also a hard thing too, with having like, you can't, or like you're frustrated with this one patient, and then you walk into another room and they're like, oh my gosh, like, is everything okay? Like, what happened? Like, not having that on your face.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that I've noticed, so there's one, like you said perfectly, there's one room, you have a patient with a new diagnosis, like they basically everybody's crying, whatever, and you go to another room and you have a whole other family who likes to joke around, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
you're going from like 100 to like 0 to 100 in like 2 minutes. Not even sometimes, because you're going right into that room.
Oncology is so tough. And I think it takes a special person.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with people who basically like, dealing with something and they don't know how they're going to approach it. Then sometimes a diagnosis could be like, a life sentence, right? So it's like, this is so tough, and it takes a special person to do oncology, because those people,
it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. So me, I know I'm doing adult oncology. We're doing adult oncology. There's no way that I cannot do pediatric oncology.
Yeah.
So this is to me, I think I always say this. Anybody who does pediatric oncology, these people are very special. But because I know I cannot do pediatric oncology. So it's great. Is there anything else we haven't touched on and we have discussed? So you wanna touch on?
I think we touched a lot.
So, well, thank you, Olivia. It's been such a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah.
And I would love to have you back.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot we can discuss, because nursing a career.
It can go on and on.
On and on. Yeah. So it's wonderful to have you back on. Everybody, please, this is something that we will have Olivia back, and also we're gonna have other nurses, we're gonna have physicians, we're gonna have NPs. So this channel, Solo Health Solutions, on our studio, as we promised you, we will have nurses, we will have people in the field that we can discuss important information. And if you are a new nurse, how can you face those challenges? And when you in your clinicals, or when you ready to pass this license, after you pass the license, how do you practice? How do you keep on going? So thank you everyone for watching, and we will continue to have those podcasts and coming to you. So please, if you know this discussion can help anyone, or if your loved one in nursing school and this could help them, please share and follow. And Olivia, thank you so much for being here.
It was very fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. We're going to have that again.
Yes.
Thank you again.